Yo, what's going on, guys? Who Day All Day, back with another video. So today we're going to be doing my top 10 receivers in this upcoming 2021 NFL mock draft. Please remember that if I rank someone too high, or if I rank someone too low, or if I don't rank someone in your top 10, please let me know down in the comments. I'm always down for a good sports debate. Please remember to like and subscribe. Let's get right into the video. So number 10 for me is Elijah Moore, 5'9", 185 receiver out of Ole Miss. The biggest really thing for him is his height. 5'9" isn't really ideal for a receiver. I mean, he can play like the slot and be that inside speed guy, but 5'9" still isn't the best height. And then there's a little bit of a character issue. It happened with him at the Egg Bowl. If you guys don't remember, he had a pretty disturbing celebration, but that was last year. A bunch of reports that he's moved on from it and he's learned from his mistakes and whatnot. But like I said, his height's really the only issue. He was very productive this year. He's productive last year, and then he really came on to this year too. People underrate him a lot. I like Elijah Moore. Like I said, his height is really the only issue that you can pick out. So he's not going to be like your dominant number one receiver in the early years in the NFL. He could develop into one, but he'll be a pretty solid like number 2 or number 3 for wherever NFL team takes him. Next, Rondelle Moore. Kind of same thing. He's 5'9", 175. He is 10 pounds lighter, and it's the same thing with the height issue. Not the tallest person. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being short, but for you to be that short going into your rookie year in the NFL, it's just going to be hard to take over, like going from college corners to NFL corners, like NFL big physical corners, playing like the Jalen Ramseys and stuff like that. It's going to be hard to develop when you're that short, but like I said, it doesn't mean you cannot develop, but these type of guys are going to be like wide receiver 2s, wide receiver 3s to start their career, but they can definitely flourish in the wide receiver 1s. Next, Chris Olave, 6', 185. Chris Olave is a great route runner out of Ohio State. He's a great route runner. I don't know if there's any other big trait for him. He's good at everything. He can high point. He's not that tall, but he can high point the football. He's got good hands. He's got decent speed. He's not going to blow you away, but he's not slow. But like I said, he's got very good route running. He's very technical. He's got very good route running to create separation. And that's one thing he is good at, is creating separation on DBs, or if he's in the slot running slants or outs or curls or whatever route he's running. Runs a lot of posts, and he's very good at getting people off balance and very good at creating separation with his route running. So that's what I really like about Cadarius Tony. So my number 7 receiver in this draft is Cadarius Tony. I like Cadarius Tony a lot. My only knock on him going into this year, I thought he was kind of only like a guy they used for end arounds or a guy they used for screen passes, and they kind of just got him into space, and he was just kind of quicker and faster than everyone else, and he was more athletic than everyone else. But this year, he really impressed me with his actual route running ability and his ability to catch the ball and his ability to create space. And it's always good when you can have a receiver who can do like the end arounds and can even play running back sometimes. But when they only do that and then they go to the NFL level and say a certain head coach doesn't use them the way they should, and then he just kind of struggles as like an actual legit receiver to get yards as a receiver and to create separation. But he really impressed me this year, and he can still be used all over the place. He can be a receiver. He can be a good slot receiver, a good gadget guy. But like I said, you can use him on punt returns. You can use him on end arounds. You can get him in the screen game. You can just get this kid in open space and let him run. And then say you don't want to use him as much as that, you can just put him in the slot and have him cook guys up. I mean, like I said, his route running has definitely helped a lot this year. He's quick, he's fast, he's twitchy, he can move. So I like Cadarius Tony a lot. Amon-Ra St. Brown of USC, 6'1", 195. I like him a lot, kind of similar. He's got very good route running, and another great trait about him is he can really high point the football. He's got very good athleticism. He's just an athletic dude. He go up there and high points the football and puts his body on the line and gets up there and fights for that football just like he's a 6'4" receiver. I mean, he'll go up there and get it. And he's only 6'1", so I think that's a great trait. And like I said, he's a great route runner. He's got good speed. He's just an all-around really good receiver. And these are where we kind of get to the territory where these guys can really be like wide receiver 1s their first year. These guys like are true like first round talent receivers. Really Amon-Ra St. Brown and down. These all guys who could be first round selections and really be wide receiver 1s. Next we have Terence Marshall out of LSU. This is a true big body receiver, 6'3", 200 pounds. I didn't know how he was going to be without Joe Burrow because he had Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase with Joe Burrow, so he was always getting like the worst cornerback with Joe Burrow as his quarterback. But even with LSU's spotty quarterback play and him being the true number 1 this year, he was still a very solid receiver. He only played like 8 games and he opted out, or 6 or 7 games and he opted out the rest of the season. But he was very impressive. He was one of the better receivers in college football. And like I said, that's without Joe Burrow, and that's without the other receivers taking pressure off him. So I was very impressed with Terence Marshall And Terence Marshall is a top 5 receiver in my opinion. Next, Rashad Bateman, another bigger receiver, 6'1", 210. That weight's pretty good too for him being 210. Even though he's like the same height as an Amon-Ra St. Brown and like a Chris Olave, give it an inch or two, he's a good 20 pounds heavier than both of them. So he's a more physical receiver. He can block, and he still has speed. He can still turn up field. He has great hands. Like I said, the contested catch ability with that weight and height. You have that big contested catch ability. Rashad Bateman's a very good receiver. I like Rashad Bateman a lot. Now we have our top 3. And I can see these top 3 going whatever way you want them. If like, I have my opinion, and of course I'm going to tell you who the best, the second best, and the third best is. But I can see these 3 in any type of order, and I'll agree with the list. These guys are so neck and neck to how good they are. They're all good at different. They're all good at the same thing. They're all good at different things. They're all very, 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 very good receivers. So, like I said, I can see them in any order, in any list you want, and I'll agree with it. But coming at my number 3 spot is Jaylen Waddle, just because of the injury this year. Like I said, I mean, he goes up 1 more spot or 2 more spots with Devontae Smith like blowing up this year, and maybe him jumping Waddle with Waddle's injury. But that's what it is. Waddle was the best receiver in college football before the injury, and it's just tough. I mean, he's never been the number 1 before because of how many talented receivers Alabama has. So he's been the number 1 for like 4 games, and he just unfortunately gets injured. That's nothing against him. It doesn't mean he's not good. It doesn't mean he's not talented. It's just tough when you're really never the number 1. Now you're going to go to the NFL level. It's supposed to be like your top 10 draft pick, like stud receiver. Like we want you to be like Justin Jefferson and get 1,400 in your first season. So it's a little tough when he doesn't really have too much experience being like that clear-cut number 1, always getting the best corner. But he's still a great receiver. Like I said, it's not his fault that he got injured. It's not his fault that Alabama had such great receivers before him that he wasn't getting the number 1 corner. Jaylen Waddle's an absolute stud. And like I said, I can even see him at 1. He's that good. Next, I do have Devontae Smith in this spot. He's been the best receiver in college football because of the Ja'Marr Chase opt-out, and he could have still been. He did win the Heisman. He won the best receiver award. I mean, he's amazing. My problem comes with his weight. He's 6'1", 175, and he does, I don't want to say the word struggle, but he does struggle against more physical corners. When there's someone who's like a bigger corner, like a 6'1", like 200s, yeah, like 6'1", 200, 6'2", 205, 210 corner. It's not every corner is a more physical man-to-man corner, but he does struggle, even though he's quick and he's got good route running and he's fast. When he has a more physical receiver, when he has a more physical cornerback, jam him at the line. If that corner can get a jam on him, he's done. He's just not strong enough. Like he's 175 at the height of 6'1". He's just not strong enough. And you don't have to be strong as a receiver. I mean, it's not like you're a running back or an offensive lineman where you're trying to consistently power through people. And I mean, it's route running and technique and speed. And I understand all that. So that's why he's still number 2 for me. But if we were to nitpick on Devontae Smith, it would be his ability to get off a press corner when there's a good corner going against him. But Devontae Smith is still an absolute stud. Like I said, I can see him at 3. I can see him at 1. Devontae Smith is a very, very, very good receiver. Coming in at my number 1 spot is Ja'Marr Chase. Like I said, these guys are all so close and so neck and neck. What really did it for me is what Ja'Marr Chase did last year. I know he had Joe Burrow, but what Ja'Marr Chase did last year as a sophomore. Just take the Heisman out of it. Ja'Marr Chase and Devontae Smith had very similar stats from Devontae Smith this year and Ja'Marr Chase last year. It was the 2019 season and the 2020-2021 season. The difference is they had very, very, very similar numbers. Devontae Smith is a senior this year. Ja'Marr Chase was doing that as a sophomore, as a 20-year-old sophomore. And I think, 19 or 20-year-old sophomore. And I think that just says how good Ja'Marr Chase is. Like, I understand he had Burrow, and I understand all that, but like you see how good Justin Jefferson is doing. I know they're different receivers, and it's hard to compare receivers like that. But you see how good Justin Jefferson is doing at the NFL level, and he wasn't even the best receiver on LSU. If Ja'Marr Chase was eligible for last year's draft, he would have been taken before Justin Jefferson. And we see how great Justin Jefferson has been. Like he has Adam Thielen, and he might always get that second corner, but we see how dominant he can be at the NFL level. And Ja'Marr Chase was better than him last year at a younger age. The opt-out does suck for Ja'Marr Chase, and another reason for Ja'Marr Chase being this high, that the Bengals probably will be the first receiver if Penei Sewell is gone, we probably will be the first NFL team to take a receiver off the board. And I do want us to take Ja'Marr Chase. One, because, like I said, I kind of do have him a slight edge over the other two guys, and because of the Burrow-Chase connection. But honestly, even I have Waddle at 3. If we were to take Waddle with that 5th overall pick, I wouldn't even be upset. That's how close these guys are. You really have to just nitpick on who is your number 1 and who is your number 3. Like I said, the Bengals can take 1, 2, or 3, and I'll be completely fine. I just prefer Chase because Burrow and him already have that connection. But we can take Waddle, Smith, or Chase, and I'll be just as ecstatic, because that's how close they are in my opinion. So those are my 1 through 10. Like I said, leave down in the comments if you guys have a problem with any of my picks, if you think someone should be higher, lower, if I didn't even put someone on the top 10 list that you have pretty highly rated. So remember, just let me know down in the comments. So thank you. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching the video, and go Bengals, go Buckeyes. Peace.